Alright, so section 3.2 talks about multiplying matrices. And when you multiply matrices, there must be a curious thing happening here. And what you do is you write down the order of each matrix underneath it. This is a 1 by 3, and this is a 3 by 1. The middle two numbers must match, and the outside numbers must match. Otherwise you can't do it. Okay, and this one is a 2 by 2, and this is a 2 by 3. Actually, the outside ones don't have to match. The outside ones will tell you what the size of your answer is. This is a 1 by 1. Okay, so this is a 2 by 2 and 2 by 3. The middle numbers match. So your answer is going to be a 2 by 3, which it is down here. It's a 2 by 3. Okay, in some cases you can't do the multiplication, like B times A. If you look at B is a 3 by 4. And 4 is a 3 by 3. So if you try and do that one, the middle numbers don't match, so you can't multiply, and so your calculator will tell you that there's no real solution and it's impossible. So now you can always type in all these guys into your calculator like we did in 3.1, and you just say, you type the first matrix letter down and the second one, and it'll know to multiply. Now to do it by hand, you've got to take this first row and multiply it times this first column. And so this first one times 4, the second one times second one, 5, and the 3 times the 6. So it's always this guy times its counterpart, and so on. And so you get 1 times 4, 2 times 5, 3 times 6, and you add them all up and you get 32. Now 5. You've got 4 multiplications you have to do. You have to do 5 and 3 times 4 and 3. So 5 times 4, 3 times 3. Now notice you use first row and first column, so that gives you element 1, 1. To find element 1, 2, you got to use row 1, column 2. To find element 1, 2, you got to use row 1, column 2. So 5 times 2 plus 3 times 5. To find element 2, 1, you got to use row 2, column 1. 1 times 4 plus 2 times 3. To find element 2, 2, you got to use row 2 and column 2. 1 times 2 plus 2 times 5. And you add it all up and you get your answer. Now these are doing these by hand. Okay, so here you're going to end up with a 2 by 3. So you got to multiply 4 and 2 times 1 and 5. So 4 times 1 and 2 times 5. 4 and 0, 2 and 1. 4 and 4 plus 2 and 0. So the first row times each column gives you a row. Second row times each column will give you the next row. So 3 times 1 plus 5 times 5. 3 times 0 plus 5 times 1. Then 3 times 4 plus 5 times 0. And you add them up and you get your answer there. And you can do the same thing with AB, which is even harder because you got 3 rows and 4 rows, or 3 by 3 and 3 by 4. You're going to have a lot of answers here. Okay. 15. No, remember what transpose meant. You got to take the first row and change it into the first column. Second row to second column. Third row becomes third column. If you want to use transpose on your calculator, you can do that. You can type in, for example, second matrix 2, let's use B, and then second matrix 1 for A, but we want to use transpose. I think you do second matrix, arrow to the right, and you choose 2 for transpose. So you do second matrix, arrow to the right, 2 to be able to do a transpose like this one. Okay, A squared, you can do that one very easily. Second matrix A, and then just hit hat 2. It will know to square it. Okay, and then A times B is just simply second matrix A, second matrix B. And you don't have to put a multiplication between them. The calculator will know. to multiply those two together. And you get your answer. But I want you to be able to do it both ways, by hand and with the book. Okay, now 45. 45 is a little tricky because they give you a mid-size and luxury cars. Okay, and they tell you that each column is represented by 12% under list price versus 15% under list price. Okay, and so when they multiply these, they're actually multiplying by 0.88, which is 12% under, and 0.85, which is 15% under. So now when you multiply this row times that column, this row times that column, each time you get a number. And these represent the new deals or list price that they're making, because this one is no longer 3,600, it's 31,680. 50,000 becomes 44,000, and so on. It represents the discount that they gave when they came up with this new price. And you've got the same thing here with 46. They give you a matrix here, this one. But then they give you another matrix you got to come up with that lists the coats, shirts, pants, and ties. If you look in the book, the first row is coats, so you put down what a coat costs. Second one is shirts, so you put what shirts cost. Third one is pants, so you put what pants cost. Fourth one is ties, so you put what ties cost. And now when you multiply these, you're going to get the total cost of each item in your inventory. Total revenue received by each factory, sorry. Okay.